Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, in the last 3 videos I have explained to you how we can understand the nature of consciousness vis-a-vis the understanding of our state of flow, also at how at the baseline level we are operating at the level of nafsul ammara bisuk. Alright, and how this downward spiral leads to greed, selfishness, failure, depression, and all the psychological problems that we face in the modern world, because we have taken away the nature of our true existence of being a servant of Allah and ubudiyah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We lost that. When we lose that, then we have a meaningless life. So we do not know why we are on this earth, who we are, why we are on this earth, what is our purpose and life, what is supposed to do on this earth, where we are going to after we die, and so on. So these are existential questions that we must answer first before we can transcend to the second level of nafsul lawamah, the we stage. So if we just me stage, we will go downward. Alright, so then I explain to you the nature of flow, how from the perspective of Islam we can understand that this is from our model, positive Islamic psychology model, of how if our environment is at nafsul lawamah, alright, we have all the bad. It is a hedonistic consciousness. It is going downward, alright. So our perception from the physical realm, the social realm, and inner speech is all negative. Our total past learning history as a human being will be all negative, and our inner speech will give all the inner speech of evil. Me, I want to be rich, I want to be greedy, I want to be doing all the evil things, alright? So this inner speech affects everything, so we have a bad, evil, unjust global society, alright? At Lawama, we have 50-50, we have the good, we have the bad. So this is the situation the Ummah is facing today. Our physical environment is not so good, our social, intercultural environment is not so good, and our political and global societal environment is also no good. So our inner speech got to play a good role, so that we have good, we enhance the good and reduce the bad. So we have some problems in the world, but inshallah, if we work hard to build this concept of positive Islamic psychology, we can change our situation. So this is a situation of lawama. But when we are able to reach the highest level, that we have this, what we call contemplative consciousness. This is the new 21st century consciousness that we have to develop for the Ummah and for all humanity, where our physical environment is good, our social intercultural environment is good, our global environment is good, our inner speech, the model of inner speech is good. So we have all good. Then we create a just, good, happy, peaceful, wonderful world for all humanity, especially for Muslims. And to do that, we have to develop our consciousness. And yesterday, I have explained to you the state of flow, where Mihaly, this is the father of the psychology of state of flow. So he developed this idea that our self-consciousness will disappear when we immerse in our fullness of our now, where there's no time and space, and we experience optimal experiences and understand the ultimate purpose of life. And then we sense the connection to the universe, that we are in the contemplative, reflective, and meditative state for optimal performance, sense and ability for unlimited achievement. And this is within this whole concept. I've explained to you the nature of baka and fana within the Islamic concept for us to achieve peace, happiness, and success. So today I'm going to give you some idea of this consciousness, mental model of consciousness, because all of us will have mental model in our mind. In psychology, it plays a very important role. What is your mental model? Alright, we have the mental model for everything and anything that we do on this earth. Alright, so this mental model will shape our perception, as I mentioned earlier on, and this perception is actually being controlled or being directed by our inner speech. So how this mechanism work? Alright, so if we transpose the graph that we have shown you before, our baseline is we are at nafsul ammara bisu. Okay, at this level, the NA level, alright, this is the baseline. Alright, so the NA level, this area, we are having all the kind of things that we know is bad. For example, greed, alright, meaning meaninglessness in life, etc., etc. So we are moving downward. At lawama, we are already now our self-corrective soul. Our soul at nafsul lawama is trying to correct ourselves. Oh, if I do this, is it good or bad? If I do this, am I destroying the environment, or am I making the environment better for my children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren? And if I do this, is it going to affect me, and how is it going to affect society, and how I'm going to balance my desire with the needs of humanity, and so on. So we are now thinking about it. At Mutmainah, we reach the level of fullness of our nature. So there are many journeys that we got to go. So for example, if somebody, say Mr. A, he starts at Amara, and then his life is just revolved on Amara only, and he even go worse. All right, so Mr. A, he is a life of greed, a life of cheating, a life of murder, a life of destroying the environment, a life of disregard for humanity. So what is he? He is at this level, his graph of life is Nafsul Amarah Bisu. So at this level, he will fail. When he dies, at this point, his death, he will fail in life. So failure in life. And what else? He will then will not receive the mercy and the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the hereafter, we call it, in the Islamic perspective, we call it that he is not entitled to heaven, he will go to hell. That's as clear as that. So, but we have another, say, Mr. B. Mr. B may start at Amara, and he goes through a life that is so revolving here. Then he realizes his folly. At this point, he's a drug addict. Then he goes for counseling. All right, we counsel him. Then he starts thinking about his nature of life. So he has transcended from the Amara to the Lawama, the NL line. So as he developed, he struggled, and then he failed. But then he struggled again, and then he succeed, and then he succeed. And then he failed and he succeeds. So he is all the time until the point where he leaves this world. This is Mr. B. He is, all right, at the state of Lawama, still struggling to perfect himself. So his mental model, this mental model of consciousness, his level is at Lawama. Or we take Mr. C. Mr. C may come from a good family. He starts somewhere here, Lawam. All right, but because of the peer group pressure in the universities and so on, he fell down. All right, but he has the understanding of Iman, Islam, and the Arkanul Islam, and he was given counseling at this point. Then he improves, fail, improve, then he goes up, and he goes up, and he goes all the way here. All right, so this is Mr. C or Miss C. All right, so you can see at this stage you reach the level of the full nature, where Allah tells us, Ya ayyuhan nafsul mutmainnah irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiyah fathuli fil ibad wadkhuli jannat. Oh, you in complete peace and satisfaction. That means at this point we are in complete peace and satisfaction in this dunya, because Allah addressed us when we are alive. Naturally, it's a long journey towards the end of our life. But when you end your life with mutmainnah, then you are successful in this world and the hereafter. So these are the mental model that we have to shape. And how do we shape? In a speech progression. All right, so our mental model must start from NA. NA is Nafsul Amara. We move to NL, Lawama, and then we move to Mutmainnah level. But this level is always changing. That's why Iman is always changing, depending on what we do. And all this is controlled by our inner speech progression. All right, remember our model? Our mental model is depending on the inner speech. All of us got inner speech. Some people call it automatic thoughts. Beck call it automatic thoughts. For some psychologists call clutter thinking or automatic thinking. What is your automatic thinking? Is it at this level? Is it at this level, or is it at this level? Every one of us, every day, the moment, 24 hours a day, even in your sleep, what is your dream? If your dream is to do something evil, then it is operating at Amara. But you wake up in the morning, you want to go and kill somebody, then you are at the Amara. Or you want to hurt somebody, or you want to curse and swear at somebody. So you are here. But if you wake up in the morning, after you set up, you reflect over your existence. Why am I on this earth? Inshallah, I have to do something good. So you start reflective. The concept of contemplation, the concept of meditation and reflection of your journey. So you are at Lawama. So you are here. So sometimes you go down, sometimes you go up, and then you reach here. Alright? But our aspiration is to mutmainnah. So when we understand at Lawama that we have to move to mutmainnah, then it is a journey of our internal struggle. And that internal struggle is in our qalb, roh, akal, and jasad. That means the whole concept of our existence, the mental model that we frame in our mind is what? If here we are at the state of me, all me, 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 me. Here we are the state of we, our mental model. Here we are the state of us all. I have told you already, this mental model of us all. You're thinking about not you. You're not thinking about your children. You're thinking about your community. You're thinking about this dunya. You're thinking about the akhirat. So you have the whole concept of the level of consciousness. From the consciousness of me to the consciousness of we to the consciousness of all of us and to the consciousness of, alright, for Muslims, akhirat. Akhirah. Alright, this consciousness is very important. Then, when we understand this, you see this is a journey. You, me, all the 7 billion human beings will have this model playing out every day in their life. This I'm talking about, say, a lifetime. You can have the same model on a weekly basis or even in a daily basis. But the variation is not that much. On a lifetime, you can see the result of failure, the result of partial success, and the result of full success. So every day, our inner speech must be progressing from NA to NL to MM. And it is always happening. How are we going to build our positive mental model to progress? It is the role of tazkirah. We tazkirah ourselves. We do the process of improving our state, islah, reformation, our islah within ourselves. Okay? So when we do that, there's internal inner speech that you have to progress. So if you're thinking about evil, then you say, Astaghfirullahalazim, Astaghfirullahalazim, Ya Allah, forgive me. Help me think something positive, to do something good. Even a simple example. For example, you are driving. And you're driving in the road and you're busy driving on your road. And then suddenly, a car is moving very fast in front of you and it cuts you and then cuts you out. What would you do? You could be angry and say, oh, you curse and swear at that driver, why he or she is not considerate and so on. Your mental model is what? Anger, frustration. That is normal for us at me and we level. But for people at mutmainnah, they may say, their thinking is that, never mind, I slow down, let that person take over, because maybe his wife is in hospital and his wife maybe want to give birth, so he has to rush. So your mental model is not anger. Your mental model is peace. You exude peace, you give peace. So Allahumma anta salam wa minka salam wa alaika ya'udu salam fahina rabbana bisalam wa ahilna al-jannata daru salam tabarakta rabbana wa ta'alaita ya zal jalali wal ikram. So you are exuding peace. At this level, the same instant, for example, at this level, not only you curse and swear, you chase the person. At the level of marabisu, you try to bang that fellow from the back. That is the anger. This one is normal reaction, anger plus frustration. At the mutmainnah, it doesn't harm me, alhamdulillah. Alright, maybe he has something urgent to do. So you give excuse to your brother or your sister or so anybody. So if every human being can be forgiving, because the key concept of Rasulullah that in the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah is always forgiving. People are doing all kind of things to him. Alright, when he went to one place, alright, he went and then they stoned him. And the Malaika say, we can turn this mountain to kill them. But what did Rasulullah says? No, maybe their generation to come will understand, because they do it out of ignorance. So he's very forgiving. You can see all the whole sunnah. He's so forgiving. So at the mutmainnah, you are not affected by the dunya. Your dunya, you have transcended the dunya. You have already understood the meaning and purpose of this dunya. You already have understood that you are a servant of Allah, the Caliph on this earth. Your role is to make yourself good, to help others to be good and make the world good. And you are striving every day. So your thoughts, process and mental model is what? Nafsul mutmainnah. This is our aspiration. But this is difficult. But our normalcy is nafsul lawamah. And these are all psychological concepts within Islam. And this is not in modern psychology. So we have a beautiful model of post-Islamic psychology, and you can understand and expand this whole idea. Okay? How we're going to lead a life of mental model of consciousness at the level of moving away from nafsul ammara to lawamah to mutmainnah, and having the whole purpose and meaning binded together, because then you know, who am I? Why am I on this earth? Where am I going to? What are the actions that I need to do to make myself acceptable to my Creator who put me on this earth, so that inshallah with His divine grace, love, mercy and forgiveness, I progress day by day by day by day, facing the challenges of the dunya until the day Allah ordained upon me to return to Him, and inshallah we receive His grace, His mercy and His Jannah, which He promised to all who strive. Even you leave this world at lawama, it is better than being at amara bisu. Allah will forgive you. But why not we aspire to be a wonderful human being, achieving the best, fulfilling the best, receiving the best, and becoming good human beings with our mental model focused on nafsul mutmainnah, striving towards the highest level of achievement in this dunya and akhirah. And if we do that, we mold an ummah that is all achievers, all good, all happy, all peaceful, all blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is a wonderful journey. So I hope you understand the concept, the psychological concept of mental model of consciousness, and how the concept of inner speech is very important. That's why in our model, positive Islamic psychology, the inner speech will be the key to bring you up towards achievement and success, or to bring you down to destruction and purposeless in life. So inshallah, if you understand this concept of mental model of consciousness, you then can apply this in your life, every day asking a question: am I at NA, NL or NM? And if I'm at NA, what are the corrective action that I have to do? What can I do, inshallah, so that I'm not animalistic, I'm not greedy, I'm not destructive? Then we go to lawama, and that is a better performance. And then by the grace of Allah and our effort, because Allah give us free will, strive and strive and strive and strive and strive until we reach the last day of our life, and being pleased by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and being pleased by ourselves, and we receive the goodness of this world and the hereafter, inshallah.